Hey everyone, this is Dr. Yap, and it's another episode with Dr. Yap. And today we have Arcy Canumay. And hello, Arcy, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Robin. How about yourself?
Good. So, for everyone who don't know, this man, this way,
Wherever.
I've known him for decades.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, we were friends from high school. So, it's pretty cool.
that's right.
It's
That's
good to
right.
make your friends. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, RC, what have you been doing? What's happening in your world? Tell
Um,
us.
yeah, working with a sustainable Waterloo region has been what I've been focused on this past few months, and specifically on the TravelWise program. It's a workplace program wherein the members aim to encourage their employees to go to work or travel to work by riding a bike, by taking transit, walking, of course, and also carpooling. Though carpooling wouldn't work during during the pandemic. And we have the TravelWise has some really good members, like over 30 members in Waterloo region. Tech companies like Google and BlackBerry are members. On the insurance or finance side, like Manulife and Sun Life are members as well of the TravelWise program.
So members are companies, not individuals.
Exactly. Yes.
Got it.
Yes. That's right.
Now you're the mayor. How did this happen? So cool.
Yeah. Being a bicycle mayor, what happened was like I finished a stint with an electric vehicle like service company
Mhm.
called Root here in Waterloo region. And then I was looking for the next like move. Then what will I do next? And I said I was always interested in cycling, and I did a bit of research and found this organization called Bikes or BYCS that's based in the Netherlands, and they have the Bike Mayor program. And from there, I just applied, met all the requirements, and I became the bicycle mayor of Waterloo.
Very exciting. I love that. Okay, so tell us a little bit about this biking program, a little bit more, especially since winter is coming. So
Yeah.
how's that gonna work? Do people have to get like giant tires or something? What do they need to do?
No. The bike mayor program. My focus is really to promote cycling to my city. Though I we don't have a bike mayor, for example, in Kitchener and Cambridge, so I also promote cycling there. But basically, I work with different organizations. Like we have an awesome bicycle advocacy group here called Cycle WR, and I work closely with them in promoting cycling with different events, different activities. It's interesting what you said about winter because the way I look at cycling, the benefits is really with the short. It's really for short distance. I wouldn't bike very far.
Well,
Like
you would
I,
have come to Toronto.
yeah, I can visit you
There you go. Yeah.
with my e-bike. Maybe I can do it barely. Then I plug
There
it
you
into
go.
your place and then do that stuff. But with winter, I've heard it a number of times. Like you can bike on winter and then so on. But when I tried it, the hardest part is really the first 10 to 15 minutes because I'm still cold. But when I bike, I'm actually I want to remove a layer
Yeah.
of clothing. But the key thing there is really the infrastructure. Maybe similar to Toronto, what we have here mostly are painted bike lanes. And there's a bit of snow, they disappear. And with the accumulation of snow, it melts, it freezes, and then so on. They become jagged, like like sharp, and it's really hard to maneuver. So that's really a key thing we're in infrastructure, Robin, having that infrastructure. We've seen it in a number of cities around the world, especially in Europe, in Finland. They were able to design a network of like the cycling infrastructure, and a lot of people bike during winter.
Wow. Now,
Yeah,
what happens if they get into an accident, or is there a service that comes with your program?
yeah. For our program, it's um, it will be it's really just the normal like the if there's an accident, then it will just have to be like you would have to discuss it. But it's if it's a serious accident, it's just normal, not like the 911 and so on. We don't have anything extra like for that.
What, you don't
But
have like a CAA program for this?
yeah, actually, CAA. It's good you mentioned it because if you're a CAA member and
Mhm.
you have a bike, they can actually help you out.
Oh, cool.
And I was going to highlight that. You can give them a call, and we've tested that. There was a colleague. This was a number of years ago. He had a flat. He was a CA member. He called and they were able to help him out.
Oh, that's very good. Now, to participate, you have to be part of the 30 companies, or can you go in as an individual?
Yeah. This one, like, there are two things. Like with TravelWise, you have to be part of the companies with the TravelWise program. And this is a program that Sustainable Waterloo Region is running for the region of Waterloo. On the other side, is really a volunteer work of mine for as a bicycle mayor. And as a bicycle mayor, it's really for the individual to join. Anyone can join. In a way, there's no formal way of joining. Actually, just you just bike. I think that's one thing you can do. Just bike around the city for short trips. Number two, if you want to do more, is spread the word. Tell your friends, hey, this is pretty cool, and so on. Number three is support your local cycling advocacy group. Like in our case, Cycle WR, in Guelph, Guelph Coalition of Active Transportation. In Toronto, it's Bike TO is what you have. So support your local advocacy group and participate and so on.
That's
Uh,
wonderful.
yeah.
Now, have you seen any challenges since you started?
Yes, there's a number of challenges, and they would fall into two general areas, Robin. The first one is really with, I mentioned already, the infrastructure. And we call that the hardware, the physical wear, wherein if the infrastructure is designed well, is considered a network. And not just I have a bike lane here and a bike lane here and here, but they're all just islands. They're not interconnected. If they're interconnected and they are strategically placed where people will go, like going to work, going to school, maybe going to the mall or a shop or something, then it will work. It will be, I think safety will be a primary consideration. It will be safe to go there. It's a short bike ride. It's 1 or 2 kilometers. I'll bike there if it's safe. So that's number one would be the infrastructure. The second one, more on the quote unquote software side, is really the human infrastructure. It's really our brain. Like when I arrived here, a new immigrant, I want to buy milk and bread. I take my car because that's what everyone's doing outside, my neighbors, and then and I'm just buying a bread and a milk just on my hands. Now, with my exposure to the Bike Mayor program, but also to Cycle WR and other like advocacy groups, I've learned that I just need a bike bag, the pannier bag, and I just bike to my local price shop shop and then I'm done. It's free exercise as well. The fresh co shop and it's all done. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, did you set some milestones when you first started this that got you to say, we were successful in achieving this one and then that one and so forth?
Yeah, as the bike mayor, that's one cool thing with bikes. They ask us to identify three priority areas. And so I had everything all set and also some activities for 2020. But then the pandemic happened. So it changed everything in terms of my plans. But I still went ahead. I had a number of bike rides. Like at the start, I was introducing myself to the community. So I had a bike ride with our mayor in Waterloo, Mayor Jaworski.
I
He
saw that photo.
he's awesome, eh? He's like, and the cool thing is, just a side note there is I had my son Lorenzo join us. He was actually the one with the. You can't see him in any of the photos, but he was the one taking the photo. He had a GoPro in his helmet, and he was having a cool time. But that was like it was. I had a plan, but it all got changed. I invited the mayor and also a counselor, our local counselor, also went on a bike ride. And then it all built up wherein our community really came together with the pandemic because in the pandemic we were pretty much limited to staying at home, but you want to go out, like you at least want to walk and and bike in my case. But a lot of places or areas in Waterloo, it's hard to go out. Maybe they're a neighborhood near a highway. It's hard for them to just go out and so on. So what the city of Waterloo did was actually identify some of those areas and provided them a safe place to walk or bike. So that's one thing. The city of Waterloo did that. I think around the month of May 2020. And then the region stepped up and said, let's, and this is with the community of cyclists and advocacy groups as well. Cycle WR was, I think, leading the way. Let's establish a 30-kilometer temporary bike lane. So it's temporary. It had the big orange barrel, like you saw that with Toronto, eh? And it was awesome. The bike numbers, just like so many people were out biking. I've seen them around, but I was also when the report came out, it's from 50% increase to I think double or triple the number of people in certain segments of the infrastructure.
Now, how are you tracking that? Is there somebody actually clicking to
There's
saying this number?
it's actually the region and the city. They have counters all around town. So they have the older like, counters that are physically on the road. But now there are newer ones that are they have the cameras and would count the pedestrians, the cars, and the cyclists on intersections.
That's
So
wonderful. So
all
I'm
those
thinking
count.
about how this would work in Toronto.
Yes,
And well, our traffic is a bit more messy than yours.
yes,
Uh,
much more.
there are areas where there are actual specific lanes for bikes, like,
Yes, yes,
but not everywhere.
yep,
And therefore, what are your thoughts around the whole idea of uh, lane sharing? And then, of course, you also have pedestrians and
yeah,
all of that, right? So it
yes,
magnifies the whole
yep.
traffic
And
piece.
then you have transit, you have the buses, you have the trams,
So
the
how do
train, the
you
subway.
manage all of that?
Yep, exactly. The key thing there, and you when you started mentioning it, Robin, is with the bicycle network, you have a separated lane here, you have a separated lane here, but it has to really be a network. I would go back to that planning to make it really a cohesive network. It just boils down, not just, but that's the key, like infrastructure on the physical or on the hardware side. Having the network will enable cyclists to safely go through and go to different parts of the city. At the same time, drivers will know, hey, this is a bike lane, and the bike lane goes around the city in a network. Therefore, I have to not go to the bike lane if it's separated, and so on. So it goes back to that, Robin. There would be areas where and you can't. For example, it's very tight. You can't install a bike lane, and it might be a shared area where and it's only like even one lane. So the bike should like actually go in the middle and be on that lane. Then it's the speed. The recommended speed in that case is about 30 kilometers per hour. But if there's a bike, there's someone on a car, the driver should just follow the cyclist. Um,
Yeah. So now I'm thinking about how we have a lot of newcomers and may not
yes,
be that familiar
that's a great point.
with
Yep,
this whole idea of bike sharing, lane
yes,
sharing.
yep.
So how do you address that? Is there some form of a campaign to address all of our newcomers coming in here that this is a different way of handling traffic?
Yes, and that's very important. The educational side of like being able, in this case, a newcomer. We don't have like a formal program, Robin, but that's one of the things we have discussed here in our region or in the city. Wherein, if it'll be ideal if that will be part of the welcome package, and be it in the form of maybe videos at first, but because of like the region, the cities may be working with Cycle WR and other groups. We have, like, for example, Cycling into the Future, which is for grade school students. So for newcomers, they would learn, those who are in school. And but for their parents, it will be a different. It'll be a different program. But education will be important, and also those who have been driving for a while, like as long as you have a good record, you don't go through the drive tests and all that stuff, eh? But now there's like, how? What will I do? And a good friend of mine asked me, like, Arcy, there's a bike lane here. I'm turning right. What will I do? And I just said, take it easy. Check for a bike on the bike lane, and check for pedestrians on the sidewalk. And then it's all free. Turn right. So it'll be a continuous education. That will be part of that software, the human infrastructure of cycling.
Well, we can always use this video as part of your
Yeah,
education.
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure there were times wherein you would have bikers
Yep.
that may have had conflict, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
one going faster than the other, or
Yeah.
people are getting annoyed because they need to go somewhere.
Yep.
Is there some form of a conflict resolution piece, or how do you address that? They come to you and say, "Well, this buddy is crazy." So
Yeah. That I don't have experience with that because I'm a really slow biker. They call it, like, this term from the internet, a party pace cyclist. And but I've seen cyclists like zooming past me. Like, there are busy trails here in Waterloo, specifically our city here, and I know those trails. I see a lot of people there, so I just take it easy. If I have time to pass, so I check, I pass. But then there are still cyclists that zoom by, and it's part of it. But it's also going back to education, wherein when you're on a trail, then I would think, like, the pedestrians will have the priority because they're just walking there at their own pace. As a cyclist, I can again just check and then pass them. Um, and so that's really it. I can't answer your question, but that's the way I would look at it. And just people be more polite as they bike around, and just slow down. Again, it goes back to speed. Again, there's a conflict with a car and a bike. If in areas where there's a lot of concentration of people walking and cycling, then the speed should go down. There are cities, and this is maybe parts of Toronto, they can consider actually closing the street to motor vehicles so that it's only people walking and cycling. Like where the Union Station is, that area you go to, like, watch the Raptors play, and so that general area, I think, is perfect. You can just walk around or bike around the area.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so if I want to be a mayor,
Yeah, there you go. You're on automatic mayor, bike mayor of Toronto. Do you
thank
want it?
you.
Do you want it?
How do you-
I'll be the one who will apply.
there you go. I still need to actually buy a bike.
Yeah.
But how do you become one now?
It's just really going to bikes.org or bycs.org,
Mhm.
and there's a bicycle mayor tab there. Just click on that. There's some introductory information, and the bike mayors are listed there from different parts of the world. We're over, I think, 130 bike mayors now around the world, and you can just apply. But if they have any questions, feel free to email me at bikemayorwatt, so Waterloo, WAT, bikemayorwatt@gmail.com.
All right. Everybody's going to be sending you emails now.
Or any
So-
cycling questions and so on. Yeah, I'll be in trouble, Robin, eh? Yeah.
For anybody who's interested in learning more about this program, you want to go to.
Bikes.org.
All right. Thanks so much, Arcy. Have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for this opportunity.
All right.
Yeah.